Welcome to a special edition of the John Fredericks Media Network across West Virginia. Go to WVTheTorch.com, WVTheTorch.com. This special edition with women's WVU soccer coach Nikki Brown. Can't wait for this big win she just had. First, though, let me just start. This was sponsored by your good friend Rocky Simmons at Ask Vision Homes. Now, you're probably saying, why does Rocky sponsor all this stuff? He's a number one West Virginia University Mountaineers fan in the history of Mountaineers. Doesn't matter what it is, volleyball, soccer, you name it. He's doing it for over 30 years. Vision Homes, well, they built hundreds of custom homes right here in the Morgantown area. Fairmont, whole thing. Now, their expert team, they'll design and build a brand new custom home that's going to fit your needs, but they're local and they're family. And best of all, they lock your price in before. They come in on budget and under schedule all the time, 100%. If you don't have land, no worries. Rocky will do that as well. Vision Homes, well, they can help you with all your needs. So whether you're expanding, you're downsizing, you're an empty nester like me and Ann, you got too much stuff, doesn't matter what it is. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, upgrading, downsizing, ask Vision Homes. Invest 1 hour with Rocky and his team, and you'll walk away with all the information that you need, their easy step-by-step home building process, and get the custom home of your dreams within your budget. Just visit askvisionhomes.com, askvisionhomes.com, and you'll see how simple it is to build a house you can be proud of to call home, and that's Rocky Simmons. And if things don't go exactly the way you want, well, you just go to askvisionhomes.com and you get to Mama Rocky, who's still running the show, and she will straighten it out. She's still in charge. Anyway, it's good to have everybody with us today. And we're going to get to Coach Nikki Izzo-Brown with us, the women's soccer coach, WVU women's soccer. Also with us, Quinn Roby from WV Sports Nation. Go to WVSportsNation.com, the number one news and information site for all West Virginia athletics. And don't forget, you can download our free app. It's so easy. Just Google Play or the App Store. Go to WV Sports Nation. Google that. You got it. You're good to go. Before we start, though, I got to give a shout out to Olivia Sneed, the sports information director for women's soccer. She does a super job. And I know you guys work so hard. You don't get a lot of love, but Olivia, yes, she's our favorite. She's the best. And Nikki, you're very fortunate to have her. Coach Izzo-Brown, let's roll. This victory over Penn State, ranked team. Penn State has been a measuring stick program nationally. Coach, you hadn't beaten them since 2017. When that final whistle blew on that 2-1 win, did you feel like your team had announced to the nation and to the Big 12, WVU women's soccer is back, or what?
I think the first thought that went in my mind is always about the seniors and what legacy they wanted to leave. And I think it was just really important for me that this group was able to do that and accomplish that. And, we've tied Penn State, obviously lost to Penn State. So it was just a real signature moment for our seniors that have never done it. And we talked about that prior to the game. So, yes, absolutely was thrilled that we could do that. My motivation comes through my players. So we want to make a postseason, and that would be a signature win when you talk about the NCAA tournament. So, that was another thought and motivation we had going into the game. So that excited me also. And but yeah, I have so much respect for Penn State, and for us to beat them is always a big accomplishment as a coach, because they do it so well.
Coach Izzo-Brown, Penn State scores first, and you say, okay, here we go. Then you guys immediately answer. Then you take control of the game. And from that point on, Penn State got 3 shots on goal. This is a team ranked nationally. Your defense was suffocating. How does that translate over as you go forward into the Big 12?
Yeah, for people that don't know, when we get into the Big 12, you get a point for shutouts. So a tie or, let's talk there. So we really put a lot of emphasis on shutouts and making sure that we're accomplishing that. And, we really want to be focused on our defense and just like you said, making sure we're giving them, not high percentage shots or any shots at that matter. So I thought the defense did a really good job. It was really disappointing. They had one shot on goal and they scored, but that's soccer. And, we responded and then held on for 22 minutes in the second half after we went up a goal, and I was really proud of them. All of them defended too. It's not just the back line because we defend to attack, and our back line does a great job attacking as well. So, I think we collectively did a real good job.
Coach, I don't want to raise expectations, but you have to. I mean, you're 3-0. You've outscored your opponent 6-1. You sent a chilling message to the Big 12. What is the ceiling for this team?
I told them before Penn State, the only person that can get in our way is you. So it's up to them. We have a tough schedule. The Big 12, I think, had 4 to 5 other teams nationally ranked. So we have our hands full, but we want to take it one game at a time. We haven't been on the road yet, so Princeton will be a tough opponent. But yeah, I mean, of course, our leadership group and with our seniors and our captains, we have high expectations. But it's winning the day. It's just getting better every day and making sure we take care of business at practice and then leading up to the games.
Nobody in the Big 12 is going to want to play you guys. Nobody's want to come to Morgantown and have to face this defense at home. I mean, the ceiling for this team is, I don't know, Big Ten. You guys can win the championship. I mean, you got to get excited after 3-0, 6-1. You're going to win the game at Princeton. You're going to be 4-0. Very exciting team, very fast. I'm going to turn it over to your beat writer for women's soccer, Quinn Roby, WV Sports Nation. Quinn, take it away.
So I asked you yesterday about Sophia Nickel, but let's talk about her a little bit. Coming off the bench, she scored in all 3 games, and she scored the winning goal in back-to-back games. What is that like when you got production off of the bench when you guys have started pretty slow?
She's the money maker. You get it, Nickel? So we love that about Sophia. And like I said yesterday, she's um, a huge, huge teammate with great focus, just making this team better. It's not about Sophia; it's about the team. And she comes in and she's absolutely a spark plug, and she's doing her job, and it's incredible. Yesterday, I put her in the back, and she was able to do that piece. And then I said, okay, so if we got to move you up top, and she created the first goal. So she's been incredible in her attitude, and she's just an incredible locker room kid.
And so, from what I've noticed the last 2 games, let's talk about a few of your transfers first. Let's talk about Tyler Clyburn from Auburn. It seems like she's been able to do a lot of different things, and she's been that attacking force, getting the ball into the box. What does she bring to the pitch?
Yeah, I mean, Tyler just is a tier 1 competitor. If you watch Tyler, like every ball matters. So if it's passing, if it's defending, if it's attacking it in the air, and I just love her mentality. She is just the definition of grit. And again, we asked her to maybe play in a role she's not as comfortable with that she did at Auburn, and she's come in and really been impactful here.
And going to the road now for the first time, what do you kind of expect from your team a little bit? You're going to face Princeton, Army, then you come back. You're going to face Marshall at home, a team that is hungry in the Sun Belt. What do you expect from your team over these next 3 games?
Every game's going to be a World Cup for us because now that, as you guys have stated, we're nationally ranked, and teams are going to gun for us, and we have to just make sure we keep our standard of excellence and get better every day, and just look at each team, take it game by game, but just know our strengths, their weaknesses, and just make sure we execute plans.
And let's talk about Naima Ingleton and that back line. You kind of already mentioned them, but they've been a force back there on that back line. What can you say about them going so far ahead in the season?
Well, Naima's on the Herman Trophy watch list, so we know if football's got their Heisman, we got our Herman. So that's been a real exciting opportunity for her to be on that list, and I rightfully so. Sometimes you have kids that don't get that recognition that they so deserve, and with Naima really stepping up, not only as a captain but somebody that has been part of that back line has been huge.
You're on a special edition of the John Fredericks Media Network across West Virginia. We are with women's WVU soccer coach, Nikki Brown, women's soccer coach. Been there, I'm not going to date her, but like multiple decades as her career has gone forward. And she had this big win over Penn State. And so we're excited to have her on as women's soccer now at WVU they become the hunted, not the hunter, after that big win. Quinn, go ahead.
So let's talk about the Big 12 schedule a little bit and break that down. You're going to go up against Baylor, Colorado first. Colorado is always a force. What do you like about your Big 12 schedule, and what do you not like?
Um, it's again Baylor. I think they were top 10 this week in the national polls. I could have been wrong, but they've had I want to say they beat Arkansas, but Baylor's going to be organized. Obviously they got huge goalkeeping. And Azul, she's been there now, I think 4 maybe 5 years. So she's good. It's tough to score on her. And then you turn around and you go to Colorado, who has one of the best goal scorers in the country. So both will present different problems. You never like to go to Colorado in that elevation. I can guarantee you that. But we're going to try to do the best we can, making sure that the girls are ready with that type of atmosphere. But both teams are nationally ranked, and they're going to present different problems to us. And again, we have a real tough schedule, and we just got to take it game by game and make sure that if it's something we want to do and win a Big 12 championship. Last year we lost it by 1 point. So we have to be really super focused and ready, especially with this schedule.
Coach, everybody talks about your top end talent, and Quinn just alluded to that. But championships, when you get deep, they're normally won by the team that has real depth, especially when the injury bug hits. 3 games in, how much do you trust this roster beyond your starting 11? And is this just one of the deeper teams you've had, Coach, in recent years?
Yeah, well, to be very honest with you, and I usually don't get into that stuff, but we've had 3 to 4 starters out. So we've already had the injury bug happening. So we're starting now to work some starters back in that have done that. So with that being said, I say this to the girls all the time: make our biggest problem who's going to start, and then who's going to be those spark plugs to come off the bench. So depth is definitely an area, if we get these kids back, that I think going into this beast ahead of us, which is the schedule, is really going to help us.
Coach, when you look at your depth, where would you signify the greatest aspect of your bench, attacking, midfield, or in the back line?
I think, that's a really good. I would probably first say midfield. There's no doubt about it. We have a very experienced midfield. Then I would say our outside backs. We have a lot of experience there. So we're hoping to get some people back there. So I'd probably say those 2 areas.
Quinn?
So let's talk about Bailey here for a little bit. last year we got into the season where we weren't sure what the goalkeeping was going to be like, and now she comes into this season, and like you mentioned, you guys have scored 6. She's only allowed 1, and she's done a very very good job. What can you say about her growth from the start of last season to now?
Yeah, she's just getting better, and she's just a relentless kid when it comes to understanding her box and making sure she owns it. And then watching film, doing all the little things to make sure that maybe she could have come up with that save against Penn State, even though it was a great finish. So Bailey's done a good job, really having this growth mindset about her, and just wanting to continue to get the shutout record and to lead this team into a championship.
Nikki, you've been there 31 years. You're the only coach West Virginia University women's soccer's ever known. I mean, we're in an era where everybody leaves for greener pastures at the drop of a hat. And we're not going to talk about Louisiana State football, but everybody is leaving to get more money, go here, go there. You got a great record. You've been there. I mean, think about this: 31 years you've been there. The only coach you've ever had. What is it that has tied you to this thing? Because I know your agent is, if even if you have an agent, you've had other opportunities with a lot more money. Why have you stayed?
Well, I've always said this. It's the people. The people of West Virginia are really special. And I also think when you start a program, I used to say it's my first kid. You put so much effort, you put so much, parenting, growth, coaching, all those things into it. So, but it's a special place. Once people come and visit, they're going to see that you can win at West Virginia. So I've been very blessed, and I'm very grateful for my opportunity here. And I've raised three. My husband and I have raised 3 daughters here, and we just feel that Morgantown is just a real special place, let alone the university and athletic department.
All right, 31 years later, I just got to ask this: when you go out there, are you still having fun?
Yeah, I mean, I say this all the time. When I'm not the most enthusiastic person out there, I'll have to find a new gig. So I felt that this preseason, I was just as enthusiastic as I was in '95. So my hope is that that continues, and when it doesn't, I'm gonna have to find a new gig.
What does your husband say after you come home after a tough loss? I mean, you guys have been doing this 3 decades, so just you come home, maybe you're on the road, you lost a heartbreaker, things went south at the end, you're not in a good mood because you're enthusiastic. Everybody tries to win, so you get home, you're a little grumpy. What happens?
John, everybody is a coach. Don't you know that? I'm, I'm coached 24/7. So my husband did coach baseball, but so I'll grant him that. But yes, I am coached all the time, and my daughters all play soccer, and so we're always talking soccer in my family. So I always like to share this fun story. My youngest, I don't know, she might have been 8, 10. We're the number one team in the country.
All right, final thing. You got a whole slate of games. I know you got Princeton up next. Everybody's expecting a win there, so I expect you guys to do well. Is there a game? Is there one team on your Big 12 schedule? Because you can't deny this. All coaches do this. All of us do it. Uh, is there a game on the schedule that you circled and say, yeah, that one I want? What is it?
Yeah, I mean, I got to think a little bit more about that, and I know there will be, but I will say TCU because they made the Final Four. I mean, everybody wants what you didn't get, and we didn't get that last year. So we made the second round of the NCAA tournament, and TCU had an incredible year. So of course you want to take their name.
No doubt about it. Coach Nikki Izzo-Brown, I want to thank you for your time today. This has been a special edition of the John Fredericks Media Network. We're going to have you back as you go through this journey. You got a very special team. You got depth. I think the biggest thing I got out of this is that you're winning games with the depth coming off your bench. And not only are your players going to come back, because I don't think you've got anybody out for the season, right? These are just nagging injuries. They'll all be back.
Yeah, all but one, but yes.
Yeah. So 3 of the 4 are going to be back. So you think about what you've done. You've had depth coming off, winning games, getting experience as your starters, if you might say that. Your projected starters come back. I think that's got to bode well because now you got a bench with experience. Not only a bench, you got a bench with experience that are winning games.
Yeah, yeah, for
That's
sure. That's right. Depth is critical in women's soccer, just because of the substitution and the ability to rotate players on and be able to use that resource. So, yep, you're absolutely right, John.
that defense you got, man. That's like the iron curtain of women's soccer. I never saw anything like it watching that Penn State game. They got 3 shots off. I mean, this is a ranked team. Who the hell gets 3 shots off?
Yeah,
3
they
shots
were.
on goal. I mean, you can't. You get 3 shots on goal, you can't win. And you guys you look just dominant out there. So very exciting, and excited for your women's soccer team. And Nikki, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
Really,
Have a good day.
really appreciate it. Okay, John Fredericks. This segment also brought to you by Hope Gas. Go to hopegas.com, hopegas.com. Also, the Hope Gas Coliseum. Well, they named it after them. And one of the best companies out there. For Nikki Brown, Quid Roby, this is John Fredericks. Back to regular program. Go to hopegas.com.